So we've got, of course, welcome and introductions from me. So welcome. And this is a really big group, and I'm glad to see you here. Lots of other things you can be doing at -10 on a Thursday morning during break week, and we appreciate your attention and involvement. So we're going to talk a little bit about Faculty of Business Governance as well as college governance. How many are totally up to speed on this topic? Okay. So Sheridan University is a big, big vision. And part of the vision to become a university entails the shared governance model, bicameral governance model. Can't hear me? Okay, should I? Is that better? Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So part of the, oh, my collar's falling down. Okay, so you know what? I'm just going to be here for a minute. So part of the challenge around, or the excitement actually, around becoming a university is the challenge of building bicameral governance. And Sheridan has, for the last 2 years, taken some baby steps in that regard, and I wanted to extend those baby steps and have a little bit of a conversation around that with regards to our own faculty. So I'm going to chat a little bit about my aspirations to broaden faculty voice in our governance, specifically for the Faculty of Business, but I also wanted to chat about how that relates to the college as a whole. So here is an overview of the Senate structure and the governance structure as it sits currently. You'll see that each of the faculties has a local academic council, and we've been running an academic council here in the Faculty of Business for about 2 years. It'll be 2 years, I think, this year. We've had some good debates, we've had some fantastic work, and perhaps for those LAC members, if you could raise your hands, because I'm not sure that all of our colleagues know who represents our faculty on the governance structure. So maybe stand up, if you could. Say hello. There are 8 individuals, not all here today, that's okay. They've been doing a lot of heavy lifting, if you will, mostly in the curriculum design and curriculum renewal space for our faculty. And it became evident to me as I joined the faculty about actually 6 months ago that we could broaden involvement and also broaden the conversation at our LAC. So what I'm going to show you today is a renewed LAC governance structure for our faculty, which we chatted about in LAC. And more importantly, the addition of 3 subcommittees, which will broaden our membership. Okay? So as all good committees, we have a terms of reference. And our terms of reference for our LAC is basically on the screen. I'll let you read that on your own. So far, so good. So this is really shared governance with faculty voice at its grassroots level. Okay.
Sylvia, are the LAC members also members of the Senate? Or something?
Yes, that's a great question. So we have Senate membership. There are about 66 full-time faculty members in Senate. We have a proportional representation in Senate. So all of our LAC members participate in Senate. In fact, there's a Senate meeting this evening, 4 to 6. And they bring our voice, faculty business voice, to Senate on matters arising at Senate. Which is really important. We also have 1 part-time faculty member. Keith Barnwell is our part-time faculty member on Senate. And I get the question is, how do the number of faculty reps get determined? So basically, the math is such that you take a head count of all of your full-time faculty, right across all the faculties, and divide that and determine the ratio. So we had, I believe it was 8 full-time faculty members attributed. If our faculty full-time complement grows, which it will, we get a larger representation. Okay? If it declines, which I hope it doesn't, we thus reduce our ratio. So we have a good voice. We have a very, very strong voice at Senate. And Senate is also learning in terms of its steps, but it's a key place for academic decision making and guidance, and it's evolved, I can say, over the last 2 years. Okay, so in terms of our mandate, and I've actually included a really fulsome, I know, busy slide here, and forgive me for that, but there are key areas that we're responsible for. Most of our work to date has been in the curriculum renewal, design, approval space. That's a lot of work we've done, and still will be a lot of work that will go on there. But the conversation also will turn to academic policy. It will turn to the scholarship of teaching and learning. It will turn to research. Okay, generally speaking, those are the big buckets that will be discussed at our LAC. And in my mind, very exciting conversations still to be had in that environment. We are about to renew our LAC, and I'll talk about elections and representation and how you might get involved a little later on in the presentation. Okay, so I'll let you read those bullets, really summarizing what I've just said. Okay, questions on the high-level mandate? None so far?
So to what extent is it a decision-making body versus an advisory body?
Our LAC decides everything around our curriculum and our position on research and our position on policy, and makes recommendations up to the subcommittee. But they do put forward a position from our faculty. Whether it's accepted or declined at Senate or any of the subcommittees of Senate is another story. But we take positions, we vote, we correct, we adjust, we amend, we receive, and we recommend. Okay, great question. Any others? Here's the membership as it sits right now. And I think, unless our representation changes dramatically, should probably be the next weighting. So we've got 8 full-time faculty reps, 1 non-full-time, that can be part-time or partial load, 2 associate deans and myself. We meet once a month, or will meet once a month. They're currently meeting twice a month, but there'll be a change in the fall. So you'll note there are some subcommittee references of Senate. Ideally, our Senate should have representation, of course, of 8, but we also want representation on the subcommittees of Senate. So a number of our members also represent us on subcommittees, so our voice is yet again weaved throughout the Senate structure and the subcommittee structure. Okay. So here we go. These are the 3 new proposed subcommittees. The first one will be, not because they're the most important, program quality, and this is really about where our faculty members will bring new curriculum, renewed curriculum, and academic program generally for its first vetting. It's not just a wordsmithing environment. It's a really important strategic place for us to talk about alignment, fit, strategic intent to the program. And this committee will then refer the programming, a change, adjustment, introduction to the LAC, which it sits underneath, it reports to in that way. Questions?
Is there an effective date?
Yeah, we're going to start this in September 14. We're going to go to elections in the spring and start in the fall. Okay? And on that point, we're going to need more involvement from you. So there will be 5 full-time faculty seats on each of the subcommittees, in fact, and 1 associate dean involved. So a small group of 6, small but mighty. That being said, anyone can attend, but 5 voting members from faculty. Okay. Meetings will be as they are currently, Thursdays between 4 and 6, and faculty, full-time faculty members will be SWIFT for the hours that they're participating. One of the interesting linkages also is a member of the subcommittee will naturally sit on LAC, so there's a nice link and can, in fact, bridge communication between the two groups in our own circle of governance. Other questions on the quality group? This largely is the work that our local academic council is doing now. And you can imagine with our BBAs coming up for approval, this will be a big piece of the dynamic in our conversation moving forward. Okay. The second grouping in the subcommittee structure is Subcommittee on Teaching and Learning. And this is also an exciting new place where we can celebrate and share best practices in the context of what's going on in the teaching and learning space. There is also a committee at the subcommittee level of Senate responsible for teaching and learning, and yes, again, a bridge will be built between our LAC, this subcommittee, and the Senate itself. These are net new activities for the Faculty of Business. We do have some fantastic exchanges, but they're in small pockets, and this is a place where I hope the conversation will be expanded, and we can all learn from this group, I think, tremendously. Again, 5 members from faculty full-time, with a associate dean sitting as well, but anyone's welcome. Okay, Thursday afternoon meetings and SWIFT time allocated for this work. Linkage built into our LAC as well as Senate. Okay, and finally, the third and certainly not the least is the emerging space of research and partnerships. As a undergraduate teaching university, we're going to be doing research in a way that incorporates a lot more capstones. We're already doing quite a number of capstones, but this will be a real big part of our BBAs coming forward, internships as well, and partnerships with the community in terms of the corporate sector will be a big part of the conversation here, both in terms of looking for host environments, if you will, for our students, as well as what I love to call extra money, the funding opportunities that come with research. And that's both for faculty release time to do work in the areas of passion that they're researching, as well as involvement in the corporate community and bringing us that much closer to the corporate space in terms of delivering value for them through our research proposals. Okay. It's also a place to celebrate and exchange best practices, which I'm hoping is an active part of that conversation in this group. And here's the mandate. One thing I wanted to chat about in terms of the mandates, this is our first series of 3 subcommittees, and there'll be works in progress. So we're going to give it a go for a couple of years and tweak them 2 years hence, if needed. We can expand and contract, and if we need other subcommittees built, we have the authority to build subcommittees through our LAC structure in the concentrations that you find most appropriate. Okay. Any questions on this one or any of the 3 subcommittees so far? Is it exciting or boring news?
Good progress, yeah.
Good progress? Again, it's about faculty voice and input and exchanging. And most often we forget to congratulate ourselves. There's opportunity here for sharing best practices and building something quite unique. So I'm pretty excited and looking forward to your participation. And I will introduce the concept of next steps. So I mentioned already launching in the fall with spring elections. And Brenda We'll be collecting names of interested potential subcommittee or committee members. So if you have an interest, please send an email along to Brenda, who will collect names. And we'll organize an election probably mid to end of April, so before everyone sort of scatters for the summer, right? That would probably be the timing, and with an effective date to the question earlier of September. Okay? Questions? Clear as mud? All right, so that basically is my presentation for this part of the morning anyway, and I'll invite Crystal up to talk a little bit about student engagement. Thank you.